All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry, or afternoon, depending on the hour. Sorry for the unexpected absence today, but the notes are pretty quick and only one page, so not too bad. So the video won't be that long. All right, so today we are going to evaluate functions with graphs. So basically, instead of taking a number and plugging it into a function, you're going to look at the graph in order to find what that value is. So if you look at our graphs, we have two graphs here. We have g of x and we have f of x. Okay, the red graph is g of x. The blue graph is f of x. Okay, if you aren't using your iPad or even on a quiz or test, it might help to take a highlighter or a different colored pen and show the two functions so that you can quickly identify them when you go to evaluate. Okay. All right, so for this first example, we're doing g of 3, so that's the red function. So you're going to go to where x equals 3, which is right here, and then go find the red function, the y value. That's also going to be -3. Okay, that's all you do for that example. So the next one, this is the blue function. Okay, and you want to evaluate f of -1. And the only thing about this one is it's kind of hard to see what -1 is up here. Sometimes students say 9, some students say 10. Well, remember that this is a quadratic and we have a formula to graph it, 1a, 3a, 5a. So 1, and then we go up 3, and then we go up 5, and then we go up 7. So 1, 3, 5, 7. So then that value is 10. All right, for the next couple examples, we are just going to be doing function operations. So when it says g plus f of 0, let's go ahead and rewrite this as g of 0 plus f of 0 so that you can see where the two numbers of the functions come from. So first, let's do g of 0. So I go to where x equals 0, which is here, and I go find the red function, which is 3. And actually, while we're looking at this, I can also go find the blue function, and that is also 3. So I have 3 plus 3, which gives me 6. Okay. Next function, same exact thing. F of 6 minus g of 6. Okay. Remember that subtraction order matters, so make sure you pay attention to the fact that f of 6 comes first. So go to where x equals 6, go find the blue function, which is the f of x function, and that's 3, minus, once again, go to 6, and go to the red function, which is g of x, and that equals -9. So minus a -9. Okay, make sure you use parentheses, that equals 12. All right, go ahead and try the next two examples on your own. One's multiplication, one's division. So do them on your own, share your answer with your group, and then hit play from there. So you can go ahead and stop the video now. Okay, here's what you guys should have gotten. So go ahead and take a moment, talk with your group if you guys didn't get this to figure out the answers. But be careful in number 5, the double negative becomes a positive. And then in number 6, order matters with division. Okay, so you had to make sure that you did g of x over f of x, and that gives you -1/2. Okay, the next two problems are going to be probably the toughest problems of the day, and actually there's a mistake on both 7 and 8. For number 7, this should be a -1 inside the parentheses, and for number 8, this should just be a 1. Okay, so go ahead and fix those first. Okay, so just like we did the first day we learned composition of functions, you're going to start with the innermost function, which is going to be g in this case. So we're going to do g of -1. So we go up to our graph, find where x equals -1, and then go find g, which is the red function, and that gives me 5. Okay. Then you take that number and plug that into the next function, and the next function is going to be f. So you do f of 5. So once again, go up to your graph, find where x equals 5, which is right here, and that will give you a -2. Remember that parabolas are symmetrical, so if there's a point over here that's -2, this is also -2. Okay. And that's your answer. So no different than what we did on Friday. It's just you're using a graph instead of actually having to plug numbers in. Okay. And in example number 8, so once again we start with the innermost function. How do we know which one's the innermost function? It's one that's closest to x. Okay, so we're going to do f of 1 first. So go up to f of 1, and you should get -2. Okay. Then take the outer function, which is g, and do g of the number that you just found, so g of -2. So go back up to your graph, find where x equals -2, and go find that y value, which is 7. Okay, and then the last thing we need to talk about is where do the graphs intersect? Pretty straightforward. It's where do they cross each other? Okay, a little active note here. It is possible that they do not intersect. An example of that would be parallel lines. So if you have two lines like this, then those two functions will never intersect. Okay. And it's possible to intersect in more than one place. So for example, if you look at our graph that we're working with, we actually do intersect in 2 places. Okay. We intersect here, which is the ordered pair 0, 3, and also here in the ordered pairs 4, -5. Okay. And then you just write your answers as ordered pairs. So that's going to be 0, 3, and 4, -5. Okay, and that's actually it for today. Like I said, not too bad of a lesson. So you guys have the rest of the time to work on homework, which is the next worksheet. Okay, you can make sure you guys help each other out. Okay, since it's a pretty quick lesson, pretty quick homework time too. Let's not listen to music so that we help each other out in our group since I'm not there today. And then once you finish your homework, then you guys can go ahead and listen to music. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.